Hello gang, hello, hello. What have we got this morning? Going to be short this morning. Going to be short. No normal extended stream today, I'm sorry. Bunch of stuff has coincided all the way up here. The plan was to get back to test printing on this. But a couple of things happened. Freezer paper, yeah. I brought everybody else's paper out of the freezer, of course, and forgot mine. So my paper is frozen still, which is just starting to crack now. So my paper is still frozen. But not only that, we've got something else. I know that last night, yesterday afternoon, we got a request from some customers here. I don't remember what I told you, about a week ago. There was a group of ladies in who are on art tours. I know there's one lady from Holland runs some kind of tour group, and she brings other ladies over and they go on art tours, seeing this and seeing that around Tokyo or Kyoto or wherever they go. A couple of weeks ago, on a Tuesday night when I was supposed to have been closed, they were walking down the street, a few of them, and they came in on Tuesday night, discovered the place, looked around, and she thought, oh my God, this is something worth talking about. So she brought the whole group back the next day, on Wednesday. It was like 14 people. I can't remember exactly what it was. They had a great time. A ton of shopping. I did demonstrations of the prints in the back room. They didn't have time to do a party. They weren't really interested in that. Anyway, so it was. Out they went. I thought it was finished. It wasn't finished because she came in yesterday and she said, I'm on the next group. Those people have gone back to the Netherlands and now the next group is here. So it's, I forget, 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14 people, and she asked, can we do that again? And she asked if she could come today at 9 o'clock. They're booked to go to the Olden Memorial Museum or something this morning at like 11 o'clock or something. So she asked, can I come here? And I'll do demonstrations and stuff, whatever. So they're coming here this morning. I've got to get downstairs by 8:30. It's 8:02 already. So given those two things, I've got to be out of here by 8:30 anyway, and my paper is still rock hard. There isn't really much I can do for you this morning, I'm sorry. This is actually really good news, because this lady seems, I guess that's her business perhaps, or whatever, I don't know, because she's going to be coming back and forth, so she wants this service. Absolutely, we'll be really, really happy to help her. Chicken soup. I'm tired, that's all, John, I'm tired, thanks. I'm actually okay, but things are building up one by one by one, and I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm just tired. A little bit late last night, a little bit early this morning, that's all, no problem. I'm just a bit quiet this morning. So anyway, I'm sorry, and we may be, because of that Reddit thing the other day, there may be a whole bunch of new people here. You know, I'm really sorry about that. I can't do a normal printing stream this morning. In fact, I've already used up a chunk of my time. But what I had planned on doing before all these things got in the way, before the interruption from the ladies and before I was going to do test printing here for about 30 minutes. Then I was going to do a little show and tell. We got a fabulous, fabulous package in the mail yesterday morning. And it's funny. I had known it was coming yesterday, and I was thinking, this is a secret. I won't tell the Twitch stream about it. The package is going to come, and we'll be able to show it on the stream live. You know, I'll be able to open it up live. But of course, because I was up here and it was down there, I didn't see the package when it arrived. So if that's okay with you, I don't have any content right now. My paper is frozen, and I got to get out of here in 10 minutes. Shall we spend that 10 minutes looking at a couple of prints I got? Because they are fun. Any excuse for a show and tell, right? So, alternate universe. Okay, we're going to go back to 1895. Sorry, voice. Okay, I'll say you tell me what it is. You tell me what it is. We're going back to 1895. And yes, this is right to left writing. Get out of the plastic here. I don't remember the Meiji number. It is Kabuki Ju Hachiban and something Bane. I don't know. They're all different in the pronunciation. What it is, Ju Hachi is 18. And this is a series of woodblock prints that were made back in 1895. If it was in Meiji 27, I don't remember. It's a series of woodblock prints made, and I don't know the instigation for it. What it is, it's the biggest 18 kabuki plays. It's a series of prints showing characters from the top 18 plays in the kabuki repertoire. And they show the character or characters from the play, and they are all as they would be portrayed by Generation 9 Ichikawa Danjuro. He's one of the biggest, but the Danjuro. Ichikawa Danjuro, of course, that's one of the famous kabuki names of all time. There are still people these days using that name. I don't know what number they're up to. This was generation number 9. Let's pull the camera around. Is that stable? And maybe an equivalent in our society or British culture, Western culture, whatever, would be a series of prints or something based on, say, Shakespeare's top plays. All the characters as interpreted by some big actor. You know, they do Falstaff, Richard III, Hamlet, whatever. And I don't know enough about kabuki history to be able to give you a chapter and verse on who these are and what they are. But the point being, that's the series of 18 prints. This came up on an auction the other night, and it wasn't for all 18. It was for 16 of them. I'm not too concerned about that because I already have at home in my collection. I've got 5 or 6 of these. So perhaps if I'm really lucky, they will be overlapping. Now, the thing about this is, these are, I've got to get some light worked out here because these are spectacular productions. Can you see, for example, down where the lettering is here? Can you see what they've done with the embossing here? They have printed these on a super luxe thick paper, and they have totally gone to town with the embossing on this. Look at this. The paper is super, super thick deluxe paper. I don't know who this character is, I'm sorry. As I said, if I'd have done some research before we started, I could tell you who they all were. At the moment, I can't, I'm sorry. They're in reasonable condition. They're not in great condition. We've got some issues. We've got a few issues here with some foxing on the paper, but I do not care. And the carving is to die for. It's delicate, but clean. You'll see as we go through some of them. This one obviously looks like some Chinese emperor or warrior from the old days, and I'm sorry, I don't know the background on the stories here. And every one, it's not the same karazuri block that repeats. They've done a different karazuri block for each one, and I'm sure if the research was done on this, the particular plants that were used and the particular patterns that were used are something that has relevance to the particular story that is being told on each of these. And it's the kitchen sink. There's a Nuno Mezuri printing with cloth pattern. Of course, the super rich karazuri. There's Shomenzuri. Can you catch it there on the red lacquer? He's got some kind of lacquered dispatch box over his shoulder, and it's been done with a front rubbing technique, where after all the other colors are printed, after the red was printed from normal blocks, there's a front rubbing on here. Can I remove the foxing spots? Not really, not without damaging the paper. You can bleach them out, but it would just leave a white spot. And these are quite deluxe. See, look at the Shomenzuri. Do you see that? Look at that guy. I think he's on that guy's kimono pattern. When you see it from the front like this, next to nothing. There's a slight disturbance. I can see it actually looks like a bit of dirt or grime or something on it. But when you see it under a side angled light, look at that. And that's Shomenzuri, front rubbing. And the hair, how close can we get here? Will it focus? That's not a gray blur. This is delicate hair, one by one by one by one by one. And these prints actually in this series, they're not all that rare. They must have made an absolute ton of them back there. I got a few from another source sometime, and these come up on auctions fairly regularly. One or two of them beaten up, bashed around a bit. And this set here is actually a little bit unusual. I don't have one to show you to compare, but the ones I've got at home have the date of the edition in the left-hand margin, 1895, Meiji, whatever it is. This group doesn't have those. And I'm suspecting this might be a bunch of prints that were made from the same blocks in some later time period. In other words, after the main editions were made and sold, the blocks themselves might have been sold out, and these prints could have been made later. So I'm not going to quote chapter and verse that this particular batch of prints was made in 1895. That's when the prints were published. So the blocks were cut, the prints were published in 1895, and what date these were made on in, I don't know. But not too long after that. And the designer, it's Tori. You know, in the old days, it's Tori Kiyonaga. They were the Tori family, the Tori group, was the artists that were given the job of doing the kabuki. They were given access to the theater, to the plays, and it was their job to depict all the actors. So the Tori school was their main job was depicting kabuki actors and plays. And by this time, the school is pretty much degraded. And this is Tori Kiyosada. Kiyosada ga, drawn by Kiyosada. So if you're Googling for these, or looking on eBay or something, or looking in the ukiyo.org database, you look up Kiyosada, and you'll find these in there. I'm not sure it's going to focus that close. It's not a solid black mass of hair. It's made up of an insane number of individual hairs, carved one by one by one. Same thing with this too. It's not a block of gray. It's individual hairs, one by one. Someone's asking, no gradients. No, it doesn't seem to be. And what they've done with the drawing style. The drawing style here is an imitation of early ukiyo-e, really what they call primitive era ukiyo-e. These were made in Meiji time, but the drawing style is very much that of a period of 200 years or so before this. There were no gradations invented at that time. It was a flat wash color. And I'm sorry that I can't give you, info who this is, who that is, who this is. I don't know. I'm sorry. There's kimedashi on a bunch of these stuff that's, I think you see it. It's pushed out from the back. Can you see? If I get the light just right. There's been a block with a hollow shape carved on it, and then a tool has been used to push the paper down into that shape from the back, so that when you see it from the front, that particular area pops up physically. If I get the light here, there's a real three-dimensional aspect to these. When all the hairs are really delicate, yeah, you've got to be careful not to clog it, of course. It helps when all the hairs are in the same direction, because after you put your ink on, you delicately swab with the brush. Sorry. This one's got another kamichacha. You got it there? Look, 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 look. In this area here. There's one on the hat. The Nunamezuri is done in Shomenzuri, and there's a pattern on his kimono. It just gets to be too much. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Pretty spectacular, so look at this. Is it possible to commission a print of a historical Japanese print? I'm not sure what you mean. You mean if I wanted to reproduce these? There's no copyright in this stuff at all. This is 1895. It's well into the public domain. So that anybody who wanted to reproduce one of these in any form whatsoever, taking pictures of it, scans of it, making 3D blocks for it, making woodblock prints, it's totally in the public domain. Here's one. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it if I get closer. All what looks like white areas of the print here. Can I get the light just right? I can't get the light on this. This is all Karazuri embossing. Got it. So is there such a thing as too much with kabuki? I guess not. That's the idea, isn't it? So over the top. Away you go, up and over the top. Yeah. They're just so much fun. And it's really, really thick, fluffy paper. Easily like double the thickness of any of the paper that we're using for our own printmaking these days. What's that, an elephant? Hang on a second, let me zoom back out a bit here. It's an elephant. I don't know the story, eh? We've got an upside down elephant, some hero with rustic colours. In the danjuro, again, the sake boxes nested together. Shomenzuri everywhere. Whatever, the basic printing could happen on thinner paper. You couldn't get such lush embossing if the paper was thinner. The thicker it is, the more lush and deep the embossing will work. But, you know, the other parts wouldn't really need this paper. It was just part of these must have been an expensive production, and putting them on thick paper gives it a feeling of luxe, of you know, depth and richness. I see a sickle around this guy's neck. Someone's about to die quite horribly, it seems. Or, you know, and again, I'm sorry, I don't know the... And to repeat again, for those of you who just dropped in, the series is Kabuki Ju Hachiban, the 18 top Kabuki plays. And the series was either commissioned by or for or about the 9th generation Ichikawa Danjuro, one of the top guys on the stage in his day. The family, of course, the family name is still being used. And there are 16 here. I didn't get all 18 in this particular auction, but I have a few more at home. And perhaps if I'm lucky, I now have the whole set. I don't know. They went overboard. You know, all these places, again, do you see it? It's just a flat purple area when seen under a normal light. When seen under a side light, up comes the hidden patterns of the front rubbing. We were looking at this one yesterday when it came in, and the hair are long, long, long hairs, and it's difficult to cut. You know, cutting short hair is one thing, but cutting long hairs that have good spacing between them is really, really difficult. I don't know what the mark is here. I don't recognize this. I'm sorry. Oh, it's tweezers. It looks like a little pair of tweezers. I don't know the Kabuki story reference. bit of a dirt on this one. Foxy. Again, Shomenzuri everywhere. Detail, man, just insane detail. When they were published, I don't know if it was a subscription thing, you got one every once in a while, or if it was the whole set bang all at once. I don't know how it was published, I don't know. So there we have it. That's 16 of the set. The famous 18 plays as interpreted, whatever, by the Danjiro family, 9th generation of Danjiro. And as I said, I suspect this is a later edition. It's missing the original publisher's information about the publisher and the date and all the legal information that was required on prints at that time. So those have been taken off. So these may be editions pulled from the first block set, but owned by somebody else as a later edition. An alternative understanding could be that these are test prints from the first block set that weren't published and that don't have the publisher's information, but I don't know. Before I could figure that out, I'd need to compare the two side by side. The regular authentic prints with the colophon and some prints without it, and you try and have a look at them and decide, are the blocks warped, or is there some carving that's not done on the test versions and stuff like that. So later on, when we get a chance to do a bit more research on these, compare them side by side, we might find a bit more about this. But current thinking is that these are later pulls from the first pieces of wood, which was published on or about 1895. Let's put that one back, the one we had at the very first. It's the most over the top. Okay, guys, as I said, it's not a real stream this morning. Paper didn't get out of the freezer. I have to get downstairs now to prepare for a special meeting with a bunch of ladies from Holland, the Netherlands, who are here on an art tour today. So we've got sort of a, what we call in Japanese, kashikiri. The place is booked out this morning downstairs for a special art group tour. I'll be doing demonstrations for them using the microwave print in the back. And then we'll have a go at getting them in the shop, and then we get a normal full day of print parties and stuff. So my apologies for the mixed up session. Tomorrow's Sunday. I know I am now running into time trouble again with sizing. The two of the printers are now desperately waiting for paper. Kawai-san wants to get here and print some more of those Hasui prints from America. So probably tomorrow morning's stream will be another sizing stream over in the room next door there. Same old, just Dave sits there rubbing glue all over a stack of paper. That's probably what's going to be happening tomorrow. And then my daughter and husband are leaving today, so that puts me back a bit more freedom on getting some other stuff done in the evenings. So anyway, my apologies again for a little short stream here today, but I've got to get out of here right now. Thanks, guys. Thank you again. Thanks for your concerns about how things are going here. Okay. Good night. See you later. Thank you again. And down we go, downstairs. Thanks again.